Good evening, lads and lasses, boys and girls, and whoever else might be watching. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about a little movie I just watched called Shortbus. Now, Shortbus had a rather kind of a cult underground following, played in a lot of theaters, but mostly in art houses because of its content. It was unrated and it's got some content that most mainstream or big chain theaters probably wouldn't want to carry. It's by, here, let me check. John Cameron Mitchell. Now, John Cameron Mitchell also directed and produced and wrote Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And this was a movie that I didn't really care for. And, and within the gay community, I've been often ostracized for not liking it because it's considered a gay milestone, mainstream milestone film. But I personally thought it was sort of self-indulgent and pretentious, and I didn't understand it. Well, now, the Shortbus is not self-indulgent or pretentious, not at all. It's actually quite funny at times. It has some great lines and some clever staging. It's very low budget, but the young and very beautiful cast do a fine job of portraying the interesting story. I'm not going to tell you what the story is. Let's just say it involves sex and relationships and just trying to understand about life. It's about connecting and connectivity and just those sorts of things. There were a couple of great lines, and I wrote them down, and I really think that I need to. One of them was, what are the drag queens? Drag king, drag queen. Well, the guy who runs Shortbus, the girl who runs Shortbus. Well, whatever which way you want to look at it. Shortbus. Oh, by the way, Shortbus means exactly what it sounds like. There's the big yellow buses. Well, these guys all ride in the short little bus. I don't know what that really refers to. But anyways, one of my favorite lines, "You're so far behind, you think you're first." And "I'm pre-orgasmic. Does that mean you're going to have one now?" Oh, I should have done a better reading of those. I'll try again. "You're so far behind you think you're first." And "I'm pre-orgasmic. Does that mean you're going to have one now?" I thought those were funny lines. Maybe the rest of you aren't out there laughing, but I laughed. Anyways, Shortbus is a fun little film, and if you get a chance to rent it, you should. But definitely this is not a film to watch with the kids. No. Matter of fact, a lot of adults aren't going to want to watch this film. This is a high-class porn. There are some extremely explicit sexual scenes in this film. So if you're into watching, the whole 9 yards, there's oral, anal, vaginal, and God knows what else. It's very explicit, and it's hardcore, and I really have to admire the bravery of the actors in this film, one of which is a Canadian girl, Suki Lee, for doing the things that they did. But really the sexual part of it at times almost seemed like it was demonstrative, because really the film is about connecting and not connecting. And there's some great scenes where it takes place in New York City, and there'll be like a power surge and the lights will flicker on and off, and it seems like people are starting to lose connection with themselves or with their own reality. I really like that aspect of the film. I thought that the scenes with people just sitting together and talking, exposing themselves, were much more raw than the scenes of everyone literally exposing themselves and having sex. That being said, I'll give it a marginal thumbs up, because it isn't the greatest film I've seen for a while, but it's pretty entertaining. And by the way, one of the YouTubers who's in the movie, he sings a song, and it's pretty good. Matter of fact, all his songs are pretty good, and I'm going to put a plug in for him because I think he's a really talented young man. Jay Brannon. Good on you, Jay. Good job. Anyways, that's it for me tonight, and I hope you like this rambling one. It wasn't scripted this time. I just did it off the top of my head.
Here, Elmo. Sit. Good boy.